Hello, Aries. Welcome to your January love reading. I am Princess India. If you are new, if you're family, welcome back, my friend. So we're going to start with an energy between you as well as your person of interest. And of course, I have not done love readings and I don't even know how long. It's been months. So the format that I do is I look at the energy between you and your person of interest, and then we go into you guys individually. And if you're a cross watcher, or you're watching for your own sign, it's kind of looking at where you resonate. My intention is for Aries to be here and the person of interest to be over there. But, sometimes it's kind of flippy floppy. Sometimes cross watchers resonate with the actual sign that I'm reading for. So whichever theme sounds more like you. So I'm going to be picking from the Romance Angels and from the Moonology deck. I'm going to go ahead and pick a card from here. And then we're going to hop into the Romance Angels. The first card out, we have balance, spirituality, and practicality. So there's more or less a state of balance between two extremes in reference to your romantic life. And the first thing that kind of comes to my mind with this is if you think about, I'm just going to be honest, the twin flame union is literally the first thing that came to my mind. So what we're really talking about here is there's a need to more or less recheck both sides in reference to, like, if you consider yourself in a partnership such as that, it's like you want to approach it from a place of balance between spirituality and practicality. So it's more or less looking at, I'm getting into sticky territory, I feel it. Oh, man. How can I say this without putting my own foot in my mouth? It's more or less taking into account whether something is in service to you or not, and whether there is a return on your investment. Because if we look at your energy as currency, then you think about your energy, you would want to look at your energy the same way that you look at your money. So would you want to put your money into something that's a money pit or something that's returning on what you're investing? In the event that, you're not getting a return on your investment, you may want to rethink how it is you're investing your energy. I think I did a pretty good job at that. Probably not, because I don't want to put my foot in my mouth with that. Because what I really want to say is, if you're investing in something that isn't serving you, but it's like it would, like with the ethos, the thought would be that it would, like later on, but we're more or less talking about right now, like literally mid-January going into February. So it's just kind of finding the middle ground between the two. If we put it in literal, because I'm not saying that everybody that's an Aries that's watching this resonates with the twin flame union, but I have to go by what it is that I'm hearing. So for those of you that are, just make sure that you temper your spirituality with practicality. So it's more or less understanding you have a spiritual connection with someone, but needing to really look in the 3D and seeing how things are panning out. If you're, I don't know if it's as serious as being in danger or what have you, or like, not saying that you're in danger, but I'm saying if it's something like that where you're physically in danger, then that's something you would want to take into account. Or if it's, contributing to your life, if it's taking away from you more than it's adding. I am really tiptoeing here, so I'm just going to go ahead and leave that alone. But for others of you, you know what I'm saying? Just because you have a spiritual connection with someone, you really want to incorporate practicality, like in the sense of how it is, how long you've known the person. Like, granted, you can meet a person and have like an instant attraction and chemistry and feel like you know the person, but you can't intricately know a human being just from what it is that you discern from them. I feel like that's a grave disservice to humanity. Even as a person with psychic gifts, I feel like it's a disservice to other humans for me to ever be in a stance where I feel like from one or a couple of intuitive hits that I know you intricately, because I don't. You know what I mean? I don't know what your favorite food was growing up, or, how your experiences molded and shaped you from, you know, an empathetic sense, lest I get to know you over time. You know what I mean? So even though you may feel an instant resonance with a person, that does not take place of time, in other words, right? That's for everyone else. Moving right along, we have getting to know each other and trust. And with getting to know each other, it says, as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And with trust, it says the situation is calling for you to have faith. So to me, both of these cards really explain what it is that we're talking about here. It's like, you know, if you feel a connection with someone, it's having faith that things are going to pan out in due time, but not to neglect actually getting to know the person, because I don't feel that anything, I'm saying I don't feel, but nothing substitutes for that. Nothing substitutes for, you know, good old conversation, digging deep and getting to know someone on a core level. You know, looking at their character traits and likes and dislikes and things of the sort. You know what I mean? So it's a balance between those two things, and not to be too carried away by just the feeling aspects of things. You want to make sure that you're building a healthy foundation for a partnership, regardless of whatever you resonate with. I'm just tiptoeing, you guys, because I know it's a touchy subject, and I don't want to say anything the wrong way that would offend anyone. You know what I'm saying? So anywho, we're going to hop into these cards. We're starting with Aries, and then we're going into your person of interest. So let's see what we got going on. And then I can also, I feel like I can say this for both sides too. It's like, don't focus too much on the spiritual, don't focus too much on the practical, because there's, for those of you who are, you know, looking at everything from too much of a practical point, you know what I mean? Like if you met a person in a weird kind of way, or you're feeling some type of way and you're like, this isn't rational that I feel this way type of deal. It's like you want to temper both of them regardless of what side you're on. Just being in the middle. You know what I'm saying? Balance. Anywho, so first two cards that we have out for Aries. Whew. We have the Two of Pentacles, and then we have the King of Pentacles. I mean, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups in the reverse. That's interesting. So, okay, it's figuring out how to approach a situation. Then we got the Wheel of Fortune. So it's trying to figure out how to approach a situation or how to approach a person. But, I feel like right now, Aries, it's almost being overcome with emotion, like drowning in emotion on some stuff. That's probably why it's saying balance spirituality with practicality. Because I'm not seeing the King of Cups in the sense of it being like, what is it? Like an emotional manipulator or anything of the sort. I'm really seeing this as like a person not knowing how to approach a situation because you're overcome with emotion. You know what I'm saying? And then we have the Wheel of Fortune after that. So I feel like there's going to be, well, a shift in perspective, but I'm also feeling this in a sense of a new cycle that's starting in your love life. Now, I want to know if this has to do with the person that y'all are dealing with now. The next card out we have is the Nine of Cups. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. This is really what it is that I'm feeling here. And I want to clarify this Wheel of Fortune before I say that. But I mean, the thing that I'm feeling so far is where this need for balance is coming in at is because I feel it's like it's encountering someone and it's feeling a connection that you really can't explain, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really knowing what to do with it. But there's a need to temper your emotions because I really feel like you're over. It's like there's an imbalance because you're too emotional with this, and there's a need to reel it back a little bit. You know what I mean? Because looking at the Wheel of Fortune and the two other cards that came out is the Hermit in the reverse and the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. And seeing the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse with the Wheel of Fortune, what that's saying to me is there's a need to, and I'm telling y'all, the meanings of these cards are different than the atypical Rider-Waite. So if you hear me say something that you're like, that card don't mean that, there's a reason for that. But anywho, but with the Eight of Pentacles, it's like this card is about like a disconnect or like holding back in a sense in this deck. And how I'm seeing this with the Wheel of Fortune, it's bringing me to this whole getting to know each other thing, because we're talking about seasons. You know what I mean? So it's a new cycle that's starting in your love life, but I feel that there's a need to shift your approach, because I don't know why. It's like I'm getting the feeling of a person who, it's like in the past, Aries, there may have been, you know, situationships that you were in, or meeting people that were non-committal. It's like relationships or connections that you were in the past weren't really titillating your fancy. They were not fulfilling, so to speak, right? So I feel that there was some time that was spent single, or some time that was spent by yourself or to yourself. So much so to the point to where you may just be getting out back into this dating thing, or this might be the first person that you really dated in a while. And I feel like normal human emotions, in the sense of like, you know, you've been alone for some time. So you meet a person and you connect with them. And I feel like it's kind of overwhelming emotionally, but I feel on top of that, it's a sense that you connect with this person. But the thing that I feel that's important to note here is like slowing your roll and not, you know, opening up too much too quickly, not revealing everything about yourself too quickly, not making a whole bunch of plans and stuff too quickly, because I feel like you really need to take time to get to know the person. Like, it's really great to feel all of these emotions, but you don't want to be reacting in the situation with a great deal of emotionality, because I'm really feeling with the Wheel of Fortune, it's a stress on, you know, things take time. There's a reason for the season and so on and so forth. But I do sense a little bit of like hesitation in how to approach the situation, or a level of cautiousness in how you initially started to approach this before your emotions kind of took over, in a sense. You know what I mean? Because I feel as of now, the situation seems ideal. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm really feeling holding back with this, yo. Because I feel like the situation may seem ideal. The only other way I would see this is that there's a level of unrest with this. And it's not, it's it's almost like something feels off, but you really don't know what it is. Like, it's not knowing if you should trust yourself. Like, is this just me because I have, you know, the willies in a sense because I haven't dated in a while? Or is this something that I'm discerning about this person? It's like, it's not really telling me which one it is, because I feel like there's a level of reluctance in how you're approaching this, even though it feels good, but it's still a level of you holding back to some degree. But it's not really telling me if it's because of like your past fears and you're just, you know, being overly cautious, or if this person really should be trusted or not. It's like the main message it is that I'm getting is there's a need to maintain boundaries and not to completely open up yourself fully, because there's a need to let, you know, things kind of play out. And that's where I feel this balance of spirituality and practicality comes in. So it's like everything I was saying in the beginning. Yes, it's very possible to meet a person and to have instant resonance and to have, you know, this instantaneous connection, or even to have chemistry with someone. But chemistry does not substitute for time, because you still don't know the person. You know what I mean? It's like you're still in this stage of, and I mean, very well, it could be projection, because I mean, if we got really deep with it, you know, we can project our good qualities onto a person. When you first meet a person, you're meeting their representative. You know what I mean? It's a lot of time that has to transpire to really intently get to know a person, and then you want to know them in different environments and so on and so forth. I'm not going to give you a whole therapist lecture, but the main thing that this is driving home for me is to hold back, not saying hold back like I'm not going to tell you nothing about myself, but in a balanced sense. it's like open up over time, like a flower blooms. You know what I mean? It's like, don't just like fully open up and tell like your whole life story and all this other kind of stuff, like on the first date type of deal. You know what I mean? Because I'm not really seeing, and I would say it's like, I'm not seeing it because I don't really think that that's important. It's not really about that. It's really about you. It's almost like there's a lesson to be learned here. You know what I'm saying? It's like Spirit is giving you an opportunity to put things that you've probably learned during your time of being single into action. But there's a need for patience and to really get to know a person. Because I really get the sense that in the past, you haven't really taken time to get to know people. I feel like you really went into relationships based on how you felt. Like you felt a connection and it's like we have chemistry and you just went with it. But it's taken into account how things panned out like that, if that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and for your person of interest, we have the Queen of Swords and we have the Five of Cups. Whew. Okay. Straight shooter. Yeah. I really get the vibe with this person, and I'm gonna be honest with you. Looking at this Queen of Swords and this Five of Cups, I feel like this person, although they may be single, I feel like they're still focused on somebody from their past. It's like it's somebody from their past that they're still not over. And the person may not have necessarily been, yeah, see, that's why I feel like Spirit is telling you to hold up, fold up a little bit. Because I feel like this person, I don't feel like they're over their ex or whoever they're, I don't know, it could be ex-wife, ex-husband, whatever the case may be. I feel like this person is still, holding a flame for this person. And it's like they're not emotionally available. You know what I'm saying? Which would mean, like, if we're talking about the energy that I'm picking up from past tense and we're talking about this unrest that you guys are feeling and we're talking about you guys having a history and, like, this is a general reading, y'all. I'm resonating with whoever is supposed to resonate with this. This ain't going to be all Aries because I can already feel this is getting very specific, very specific. But it's like what I would garner from this is that in the past, if it's coming up that you guys have had relationships where you kind of got caught up by emotion and just went with the feel of things, you know what I'm saying, or being in situationships or, things not panning out, you spending some time being single, now you're back and you're dating someone, you're hesitant on how you want to react. Should I hold back? Should I give? But I'm overcome by emotion. I feel this connection. We've been here before. This is saying there's a pattern. The reason why Spirit is saying to slow down is because I feel like that's what has lacked in partnerships prior to this. It's more or less riding the wave of emotion, right? Like the spiritual connection, as opposed to applying practical application. So it's like, yes, we do have this connection, but realistically, I don't know you and you don't know me. We need to take time to get to know each other. So even though I'm feeling these things, I'm not going to allow my emotions to control me. I'm going to utilize my mental faculties, right, to set some boundaries and to get to know this person over time, right? And not let all of the relationship be led by my emotions. So there's going to be some things that I hold back and I'm going to let you get to know me over a period of time, right? Now, where I feel like this is all relevant to this is because with this person, I see clearly, and it's not saying that their ex was like, the greatest person since sliced bread. It's just, I feel like they're still getting over that. You know what I'm saying? They're not over this person. But the other thing that I see in this of where there's a connection where this person may be manifesting differently, the inference that I would throw in here, if I were to put a label on it, a person who is still hung up on their ex, right? The terminology for this would be emotionally unavailable, right? Because their heart is still elsewhere. So even though they may not be together, or if the person passed away, you know what I mean? The person's heart is still with them. Therefore, they're not emotionally available or ready emotionally to be in a partnership presently, right? But this would also be the same type of person where like past partners you've had, partners who move really quickly in relationships, that, you know, it's a situationship, or it's just like a sexual connection, or it's like, you know, we met today and we're together every day for like the next month, and then things kind of fizzle out. That's also a person who's emotionally unavailable. So these would be two different manifestations of different people, right, with the same issue, that they're not emotionally available. So for some people, it can be because they're non-committal. They don't want to be in a in-depth, you know, intermingled partnership or relationship. You know what I'm saying? For other people, it could be because of grief. They have a spouse that passed away. They just recently got divorced or just got out of a breakup that can also make a person emotionally unavailable. So the theme that I'm more or less seeing here is knowing the red flags of what emotionally unavailable looks like. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that this is specifically the issue. This is more or less like an example. But I mean, what I'm seeing here, like the themes of this, it would be with a person that's emotionally unavailable. So the key is like, if these are two different manifestations of the same thing, then that means even though this person is showing up differently than past partners, so this isn't like a Rico Suave, you know what I'm saying, sweep you off your feet type of person. It's just the fact that this person is also emotionally unavailable, and that's not good for business with building a healthy relationship. So I feel that the reluctance that you guys are feeling are in reference to this, and this is the reason why Spirit is telling you to take your time for things to unfold, because as opposed to me telling you this, right, this would be something that this person would be revealing to you, or that you would pick up from listening and conversation, or just, you know, asking simple questions like, you know what I'm saying? Because I mean, typically, if a person just, you know, got out of and not even just got out of, if a person is divorced or they talk about their past partner, you ask them if they're over the person, you know what I'm saying? If they're dating you, it's like rarely. I mean, there are probably some very blatantly honest people out there. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody's going to be like, because a lot of people don't even want to admit that because they want to be over their ex. So a lot of people are like, oh, you know, I don't feel anything for them anymore. Like, yeah, you know, it's been like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? But a person's behaviors will sometimes betray them, because it's like, why you keep talking about them so much if you're over them? Why are you still looking at their social media? You know what I'm saying? Or even if it's something where, you know, if they have kids with the person, it's like, why is you spending so much time over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, why y'all talk so much? Things of the sort. So I feel like this person really isn't over the person from their past, regardless of what it is that happened with them. The next card that we have for them is the Knight of Chalices in the reverse. So yeah, dude, that's the thing I'm saying. It's like with the Knight of Chalices in reverse, that's like my card for emotional offers. You know what I'm saying? And that's halted at this present time, you know? So, or it's like a person who's willing to be, you know, emotionally open and vulnerable, and, you know what I'm saying, having a mature emotional exchange and things of the sort. And this person just isn't equipped to do that. I can't say for sure because I'm about to pull 3 more cards on them. But I mean, as it looks for me now, it's not because this person is an asshole or anything. Or, you know, I don't necessarily feel that they, you know, in their character per se, that they're, you know, somebody who is just trying to have like a fling type of deal. It doesn't really feel like that. I think that this person may want to move on. They're just not ready to move on yet. They're just not. They're, you know, emotionally stuck there. It's like there's grieving that still needs to be done. And until they go through that personal process, they're not going to be ready. And I'm seeing with the Knight of Cups in the reverse is 2 different ways I can see this. Either one, this person is really depressed behind this, or as far as offers go, I don't really see one coming in the near future. But I mean, I really see this as this person just really being very melancholy. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know. It's almost like it's fueled by... I mean, it could be bitterness. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're really hurt by this person. They're hung up on them. Like a lot of their mental space is spent thinking about this person. But still, in all areas, the most important thing for you guys to take away from this is there's a reason why you feel an unease. I feel like it's because this feels very familiar. Then we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, man. Hoi vey. Hoi vey. I feel like this person, they're trying to regain control. They're trying to regain control of themselves. Because even though with this Five of Pentacles being in the reverse, it's like, oh yeah, we got the Hierophant. This might have been somebody that they were married to. The thing is like with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, usually when you look at that in the traditional meaning, it's like, you know, upright, left out in the cold. When it's in the reverse, it's like coming out of the cold. I more or less see this as this person trying to gain, it's like trying to get their power back. Like they're desperately trying to move on, but emotionally they're still very much like tied here. So here's the deal. I saw this in, was that in Libra? Yeah, I think that was Libra's reading that I saw this in. Because like how I said in the beginning, the first thing that I heard when I saw balance, spirituality, and practicality, and I said the whole twin flame thing. Aries, the person that you guys are dealing with, they, and I don't know if their ex is a Libra. I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? But I know in Libra's reading, I was talking about these are two people who feel like like a powerful connection type of deal. And it's like with this here, it's like either these people are married, you know what I'm saying? So either your person of interest is married and they're like separated, you know what I'm saying? Or they're divorced, or, you know, they were in a serious committed relationship, have kids with the person, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? But, it's like they feel very tied to this person. So I don't know if this person identifies with the twin flame union type of deal thing, or if it's just a connection that's to that level. It's like even when this person moves on, they're not really moved on, if that's making sense. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like, I don't know, do I just get this vibe where it's like the person, like they want to be over the person. It's like they just can't shake them for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? They just can't. I feel like they want to be, but they're not for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be with you, like, and I say that it's realistically, well, I'm not going to say realistically. I'm going to say ideally. Ideally, a person would be honest about this. Just like, you know, hey, I'm not over my ex. But it's like, I don't feel like the person would blatantly say that, because I feel like they really want to be, and they may be trying to, you know, buck themselves up to believe that they are. Like, I really don't care. But it's like, that's where I say this is one of those things where you have to look at a person's behavior. You know what I'm saying? It's like actions speak louder than words. It's like this person could tell you repeatedly that they're over this person. I don't want to be with them. I don't care about them. Da, 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 da. But it's like their behavior. If you really watch their behavior completely betrays everything it is that they're saying. Because I feel ultimately moving forward, why you guys should kind of hold back, because I feel that maybe right now it looks like there's going to be a progression towards something, but I'm seeing this person is hella emotionally stunted and hung up over this or whatever. So I don't really see this necessarily going to the next level per se, but they may not even be, and I'm looking at all these fives too, man. It's a 5 with the Hierophant, 5 of chalices, and the 5 of pentacles. 5, 5, 5. That's like epic shifts and changes. And the next cards that fell out was the Ace of Swords in the reverse, the Page of Swords, and the World reverse. Yeah, dog. See, bruh. Like, this person is still hung up on this person hard, dog. Like, I'm so not lying. And I don't feel like they're going to be honest about it, because I feel like the person is in denial, because they're legit still watching the person and there's still unfinished business there. Like, they're not over this person. And like, I know I'm repeating myself, y'all, but it's like, I really feel like I have to stress this. This person is in denial. They don't want to accept that they're not over this person, but they're really not over the person. Like, they're still like stalking the person, not in a creepy way, but I mean, looking at their social media and wondering what they're doing and caring about who they're talking to and all this other kind of stuff, because they feel unfinished business with them. So it's like they feel that their cycle isn't complete. So I feel it's more or less, it's like a lot of their mental space is focused on this person. And it's like, you're just here. You know what I'm saying? But I feel the lesson to garner from this, Aries, is that this is like a pig in a different coat. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're not like a Rico Suave or what would be the chick version of that? Like a femme fatale person that just wants to play games and not commit. You know what I'm saying? Even though they're not coming in that manifestation, at their core, they're not much different than I feel the people that you've dealt with in the past, in the sense that they're emotionally unavailable. And I feel like that's the lesson that Spirit is trying to teach you with all of this, is that when you approach situations with balance, you know what I'm saying? You recognize the emotional or spiritual connection that you have with someone, and you don't make that any less than what it is. Like, you value that, you acknowledge that, but at the same time, you balance that out with practically approaching a relationship by letting things maturate and unfold over time. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you approach things like that, you're in a state of balance. And in the event that stuff like this comes up, like if you weren't feeling red flags or if you felt some type of way, it's like, as opposed to jumping in and expecting this to grow into something, right? And you're fully invested, heart open, letting it all hang out type of deal. And then you end up finding out a month down the line that this person starts behaving differently, and it's because they're not over their ex. It's like, this is something that you could find out about this person without having invested yourself, if you take your time. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that you don't invest yourself into something emotionally until there's a foundation or a container, a safe space for you to invest your emotions into. So I feel like this is a huge, valuable lesson for my Aries people that's intended to empower you. So as you're dating, it's like you're more in control of the situation. So say hypothetically you meet this person, y'all date for 2 months, and you never had sex, you just been, going on dates, getting to know each other over time, and then you find out that this person is like still in love with their ex, you could be like, oh, hell no, anybody got no time for that. You know what I'm saying? And you can cut ties and move on without feeling like you've lost anything, because you weren't, building castles in the sky in your head. So it's acknowledging the spiritual aspect, acknowledging the emotional connections, but it's still protecting yourself by maintaining boundaries and approaching relationships from a practical sense. So it's not nullifying either one, like being totally practical or being totally emotional. It's the balance between the two, in so many words. And I feel like where this trust card kind of comes in is like what Spirit is saying. If you trust me, you know what I'm saying? You trust me and try this out. It's going to benefit you. You know what I'm saying? But anywho, let's go ahead and throw these dice of resonance so you can ask a yes or no question. I can't believe this is 34 minutes, y'all. These readings so long, Jesus. They're so long. I'm here for it. Go ahead and ask a yes or no question. All right, we have Cancer. We have Venus or female. We have co-worker boss. Let me find out. We have yes in a few weeks and Aquarius. Oh, and also with these signs, I see Taurus here with the Hierophant and Virgo with the Hermit. You know what I'm saying? Anywho, so Aquarius, Venus or female, Cancer, co-worker, boss, and yes in a few weeks. And there was something else I was about to do. Oh, yeah. The initial cards and the zodiac cards. But in the extended, what I'm going to look at, I was looking for me. They still got some unfinished business over there. I think I may throw a couple of more cards over here I think for both of y'all, really, to be honest, just to give you some next steps going forward and to see how stuff's going to pan out with them. And I'm still going to look at how this person thinks and feels about you, because we have not really touched on that. You know what I'm saying? In the extended, but I'm going to pull some initial cards for you guys. This is so fascinating, man. It's been so long since I did love readings that I've forgotten about how, oh, I'm missing two. Oh, I'm missing buku. That I've forgotten about how, like, cray that these used to be. Like, I am getting so many flashbacks and memories. I'm like, dog, these days used to be jumping. I'm going to pick one more. Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So we have Cancer, we have Scorpio, we have Taurus. Those are two that are here that are back again. Just throwing that out there. We have G, we have D and B. So that could be first, middle, or last name. G as in girl, D as in dog, B as in boy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's all I got for you, my wonderful Aries. So I'm going over to Vimeo. If you're about that life, follow me over there. If not, it's totally cool. I still love your freaking face, and I will see you guys sooner than later.